Okay, so that wraps up the mudroom edition. Just put the final knobs on, the hooks. It's already starting to get loaded up. Great project, already seeing such a use for it in our garage area here, because this is where the kids come in. Right now they're all at school, but you know, backpacks get hung up, shoes go in the drawers. I'll kind of do a quick show and tell on this right now. Project is what I'm going to call the mudrooms. Basically, in our garage, we've got this great little recess area. Got the tankless over here, which is nice. We're going to provide a little room there. Basically, going to have an end, a nice little cabinet, butt into it with a mudroom bench, so kids can kind of sit, and there's going to be storage. Took a couple measurements and read the instructions here on how far we want to set back. At least, I believe, 24 inches. And what I really want to make sure is that a person can get in here. So in the event this needs to be changed out or flushed out or cleaned, they can get in there. So probably right about here is where we're going to start up. I've got about 10 and a half feet. Just filling up with material, toe kick, most of the box. I'm just going to make this all lightweight MDF. Paints up great, looks awesome. Got a few sticks of popular. So let's set up the cutting board, break these things down, and go to work. These sheets come in 97. I wanted to use the full sheet so I didn't have to make that extra cut. 97 divided by 5, I'm going to have 5 separate boxes. There's 5 of us in the house, so box each, box for mom and dad. A couple of mats. I want this thing to sit about 19 off the ground. I found that's about the right height for kids and sitting, not too high. We've got little ones, but this is certainly subjective. So toe kick, I'm going to make it pretty small in terms of height because I want to maximize the box size of the openings there. And I want to put about an inch and a half, maybe a double thick top. I want to make a real solid top these kids are going to be jumping on and so forth. Just want that bulky feel. So if you do the math, 19, you minus the 4, you get 15. But that's overall, so we got to remember we want to take a top and a bottom off our current box. So these stringers that I've just laid out need to be 13.5 by 24. Now, I'm not designing it, so I've got that 3/4 in the back. I'm literally just probably going to, because the way this is built, it doesn't matter what's behind or the reveal. So tops are cut, top and bottom. Let's grab another sheet. We'll break that down again at the 24. We're making it as simple as possible. And then we'll take it up here and cut them down to that 13.5. Okay, so transferring right up top. Easy setup here. This is literally, I'm going to start pulling off that end, 13.5. Slice, slice, slice. And since I'm going to make 5 repetitive cuts, get this set up. Already snugged these up. Perfect. Dead on. So I can just use the dogs, pull it in, and just to double check I'm all set up, throw a square on there. I decided to double up each of these for various reasons, but this is literally going to just look a little bulkier, and when I go to put the hardware on, if I've just got the 3/4 and they're coming in together, I run the risk of those screws hitting at the same point. So what I calculated, after you take the 97, I've got the 5 boxes, you figure out exactly what these are in width, and then you divide the openings, you basically get a 17 3/4 opening. So I made an exact story stick here, and I'm just going to walk it all the way down, use this at the front, middle, back. I find the story stick is the key to making these a lot easier. You can run some lines. See, the doubling up with the sandwich is great, especially if you last minute decide I don't even want to put drawers in here, because then you're hiding the pocket screws. And just, you can't even see the stitch work with the 23 gauge. Glue sandwich those up. Once the tops are scrunched on, you're set to go. So easy way to do it to cover up those little holes. You can see the little spacers. Just make it an easy way to keep it very, very good. Okay, almost at the final box. I just want to make sure my story stick hit it, and it's just right on the money. So we're great. All of these are equal distance apart, and that's just going to be helpful when I'm doing drawers. Okay, so got all the bays in, put the top on, and basically the box of this is pretty much done. What's nice about that little story pole is you can use it again for the top to make sure you're right on the money. You're done, just walk it down. You can pull a tape, but this to me just seems a lot. Okay, we're all set. The back actually helps square the box back out. On the toe kick, got to put a little scribe piece under there because this thing drifts way down. You've got to set your toe kick. That is hugely important. Once you get that done, this is just all coming together. Okay, just put in the end cap box, and a lot of times I just trim it out before I put it in, but frankly, with the weight doing this by myself, it's just a lot easier. It's raised up, just kind of tack in. And paneling's going to go kind of through here, and that's why I put these rails to allow the cords to just kind of slip back. And then we're going to connect the top piece, which I just put here, and bring this together. Okay, top box is connected. Another great reason why I double up, put some great screws. Having the bigger box on the end really completes the top, so you can load this up. Not that I'd ever really have it that strong, but frankly you could bunk a kid up there. That thing's so strong. So it's starting to take some shape. So you can see the top, I'll call it support here, is wider because this is going to be where hooks are going in, so you don't have to worry about the studs. Just makes it easier down the road. Just rounding home base, I've already got the family using the thing. It's so great. And paneling went in like a breeze. Again, that top rail, that'll be where the hooks are. I've got to paint it, drawers, doors, probably put maybe a shelf in here or two, and we'll be set. But she's almost done. Okay, so just rounding home base here, working on the sanding of the face frame, real easy. Again, with the Festool unit, I just come in and put a little non-shrink filler in there. It's almost something I just did a second ago. Straight sanding when there's absolutely no dust issue. So yeah, just fill in the nail holes, and I think this one I actually might even just paint up myself. But I'm going to shoot a coat of paint on this thing, and then probably when I get a little extra time make the drawers and door fronts. But we're already using it, so I think it'd just be good to get a coat of at least primer on it. Alright, so just got the final load to finish up the mudroom kit, we'll call it. I'm going to break down some of this beautiful pre-finished half-inch ply here. Okay, so finish the first rip. I could break this down in half and run it through the table saw, but it's super early in the morning, and it's just, this track saw is so quiet. And you can come over here and see, I make it 7.5. This thing is just dead on money. And what's really nice too, that this is the factory edge, and this is the edge after the Festool track saws hit it. Both sides razor sharp. Beautiful cut. And I don't have to throw this huge sheet around. Really nice. So maybe a touch slower, but so great. Check out how accurate this is. The final strip that's left. Factory edge on this side, my cut edge. So this would magnify if I'm off. And you can see if you pull this here, 2 3/8. 2 3/8. They're literally just that 32nd under for bolt. amazing. Okay, so just set up to, you have to have for the Bloom style tandem a 1/2 inch up from the bottom. I like to register off the top. That way if there is any slight imperfection here, the top is going to be all lined up and the bottom can be off just a little bit. But they're not going to be, but just still good practice. And I set up a test, so we got the little groove. We're going to run everything through once, then I'm going to readjust it, another pass through, and all of these are going to become the drawer sides and back. So set up the stop block right at 21, and I can literally get 2 here together, or 3, whatever, but 2's good. Knock these down to 21, and we'll have all the sides done. Alright, so just punching out the boxes. Doing it a little differently this way, where I'm just taking off the back end and slipping the sheet in. Be good to go. Really rounding home base on the project, making the door fronts, everything very simple. Just a great way to do the door front. These are 5 for the bottom. So what I do is just take a nice 3/4 ultralight, real easy to work with, ran a nice little bevel, and then laid out the numbers so I can come over here, set up a stop block, and just tear through them. And that's real easy. Just plant on a little glue, and this gives it just a beautiful, like, raised panel look to these. I mean, I love them over traditional doors that I make. Doing some final sand, got all of these put together. Got the drawers and doors and all that, so starting to set up for the paint work. Just doing, again, the final touch-ups. Set up a little spray booth in here. Quick coat on the back side. Let that dry up. Flip. Okay, so just installed the final bottom door. And I'm gonna get these on. And so here's the completed project. It's a nice, great 24-inch plus deep deck here, so very easy to sit down, put your shoes on, and put all these drawers together. Here's little Bentleys. And again, real nice way to do the door fronts, just MDF 3/4, and then you just wrap the exterior. I think it looks better than most doors. And just made up my own boxes and put in the nice concealed soft close glides. Put a bank of the same thing here. Got to load all this up, but